So what are the Global Trader Club indicators, plus the most important one, TSM? First of all, what are we trying to do and accomplish at the Global Trader Club? First of all, we want to know what day to trade, what hour of the day to trade, and also the price that matches those hours or that hour. If we have these, then we have a bingo trade. A lot of traders sit in front of the screen and think about when the market's going to turn, when is their setup coming, and it's a lot of anxiety. This is why 80% of trading, I reckon, is psychology. The other 20% is like really technical analysis and execution, and obviously your edge, right, which is your technical analysis, and how you apply it is your execution. So other than that, it's all psychological stuff. If you get greedy, if you get scared, and there's also a lot of anxiety because you get tired in front of the screen. And this is the ultimate lazy but smart way to trade. You don't have to spend hours and hours in front of the screen, because if you know the trading days, the trading hours, and you've got technical analysis to give you pricing up ahead, then you don't really have to be in front of the screen all the time, and you can be more focused precisely at those windows of opportunity. Up until now on my YouTube channel, I've explained on numerous videos on how cycle edge timing works, how we time the market, and why cycle measurements are really helpful for anybody who wants to trade the markets. So let's take a look and see where we're at with the indicators, right? So these are all the indicators that we have. Let me see, do I have them all on? Yes. As you can see here, there are actually 4 indicators. They are all related to pricing. Everything here is about pricing. Everything for timing is in the cycle edge timing report. Okay, so this chart is Bitcoin, and if I was to look at Bitcoin, as you can see, I've got the full month of July here. Right, this is the full month of July. I've already posted that on the 3rd of July. So by the 3rd of July, everybody knew what we were expecting in July to happen, right? So from the 29th of June all the way into the end of July. Every day we know what hours to trade, what to look out for, specific hours every day, plus a weekly insight and so on, right? So you can just check the video I did for cycle edge. Now let's get back into the indicators, because we want to know the swing day, the trade hour, plus the timing. What I have here on the MetaTrader 5 is all related to timing. I've opened up the Bitcoin chart because it's already the market's open, it doesn't stop. Doesn't matter what type of technical analysis you're using, you actually don't need to use my indicators at all if you know what you're doing with your technical analysis. I've designed this for myself to make life easy, and I've been doing this since I've started trading, how to look at the chart and immediately spot where I want to get in and where I want to get out. For me here, the most important thing is the TSM indicator, which is down here, and that is a time, space and motion indicator. In fact, I did say there's nothing here about timing, it's all about pricing. I half lied, because TSM has a timing in it. All right, it works with timing. This is why it's called time, space and motion. So I've got time, I've got motion, get time, I've got motion, and I've got price. So these things come together, and it should make for us a very highly likely bingo trade. All right, so how can I use all these indicators? Well, let's go over them one by one. First of all, if you like to use a naked chart but you just want to use TSM, all you have to do is turn these off. Let's do it. Let's turn these off. And as you can see, now you have a blank chart. You can do your own technical analysis, nothing to worry about, and you only have the TSM. Obviously the TSM doesn't turn off because this is the whole idea, is to use TSM. Why? Because no matter what time frame you're using it at, it's going to give you the price for that time period. So if you're using the monthly, you'll have a monthly price zone. If you are using, let's see, the weekly, you have a weekly, you have a daily, which I just took the indicators off. You have a month, you have a 4-hour chart, and you have a small time frame chart. Okay, so you can just turn these on and off, depends on if you want to use it or not. Let's take a look at the bigger time frame though. So this is the monthly, right? And if you want to use demand and supply, you can use demand and supply. If you want to use trend lines, you can use trend lines. You want to take them off, you can take them off. You want to put them on, you can put them on. You just turn them on and off. And as you can see, the trend lines here have targets if they break to the downside, and also the TSM indicator has targets if it goes to the upside or to the downside. And these levels are quite sharp and quite close to what will happen if the market gets there. So knowing these in advance gives me a monthly price. Knowing these in advance gives me a weekly price. For example, we're at Bitcoin now. As you can see, this zone is already a resistance zone. So next week, when I pick up my trading days from the Cycle Edge report, I want to know what prices we're going to be at, but I'm not going to check the price chart first. I'm first going to check these. So because this is a live chart already, and the week starts from Sunday and it goes into Saturday, then I'm already in the week. So I can say to myself, well, what are the prices here? As you can see, I've got the LCL1 line, which will give me a price of 65,669 on the weekly. So 65,669, 65,669 is already somewhere around there. All right, is already a target. And then I've got another target on the weekly, in fact 2 other targets on the weekly. So if the market does push up, we know where we're going. You can see the 43, 44, 48. So 43 and 44, that's 66, 175 and 751. 66, 175, 1. So we'll put that here, and if we get there, we'll add the other one in as well. So knowing where we might go into the upside is already an advantage, because if I want to follow this to the upside, let's say tomorrow I want to buy, then I can follow it into there. Now, before I do anything, obviously I'm going to use the Cycle Edge report to see what days to trade, but remember, I'm just talking about the indicators here, right? And if the market goes down, how far can I go down? Now, I've done something really good. Those of you who know me from years ago will know that I used to have this on the MetaTrader 4, but I couldn't draw my own lines. Now I've designed it in a way that I've got my own lines. So as you can see here, when I draw that line, it gives me a value of 62,763. So I go to 62,763, 62,763, somewhere there. All right, and this is going to be a support zone if the market comes down. I'd like to turn this into a 1-hour chart and just check it out. If there is such a situation, yeah, there is such a situation, a place of support. So if the market comes down here this week, that's going to be weekly. If I take a look at the daily, it's the same thing. The first support of the day is 52. That's 63,904. So immediately I know 63904, 63904 is just there. All right, is just there, and that's going to be the first support of the day, and that fits in nicely with this little zone there. All right, as you can see. So having these TSM price levels and then you put them on your chart here, it just makes life easier, because on your 15-minute chart, if the market gets there, you know that's a support, and that's when you want to get into the trade. And that's it. So you tell yourself to look out for the market at those prices when at the right day and at the right time, which you got from the members area in the overall hours and the cycle edge report. That's it. Because I've got the monthly, weekly, and the daily, and the 4 hour and the 1 hour, I don't use the 4 hour, I use the short time frame and the daily. That works fine for me. Whatever I want to do at the end of the day, I want to do it at a trading day, at a trading hour, which matches my technical analysis. On the daily, I've got 61 here as well, which is 65,489. So 65,489, 65,489. It's going to be somewhere around here, which is great. Okay, which is nice. This is a good place to sell. Okay, 64,489 is about there, just slightly under. So this zone is a sell zone on the daily and the weekly. And then now I can also do this on the daily. I can say to myself, well, you know what? I'm going to do this. Going to take that and that. That's going to give me a level here as well, 63,020. So I've got support on the daily there, another support on the daily here. I've got two levels on the daily, weekly levels, and I'm set to already trade according to my time and price. The price is done. That's it with your pricing. If you want to use the volume analysis, you can say, okay, put the volume lines on and let's see what's happening. On the daily, when you have the volume profile, it will give you these values, and you can see if they match your level, all right, or not. So look, this zone is pretty much the daily zone. If it goes up there, selling is okay. You see even highs here, so probably a stop. If they'll push and hit the stops there, stop sweeping the market up here and then selling off, it's not a bad idea, all right, because that's a place where they sold off before. So selling off this zone again, or slightly higher, we can sell off, and those prices come from the weekly. So if the market is at those prices at the right day and hour, then you just trade them off. That is a highly likely bingo trade, so you don't want to be missing it. And because these are the highly likely probability trades on that day, hour, and the prices given according to the TSM, then you don't have to stress about just sitting in front of the screen all day and wasting your time and wasting your life. Also, this increases your focus, it increases your hit rate, and you will not have trader fatigue in front of the screen. It just won't happen, because you're not there all the time watching the screen. You just know when things are going to happen. And that's it basically. If you're not into these technical analysis and you want to do your own technical analysis, obviously by all means you can clean up in any time frame these indicators and just do your own stuff. But obviously the TSM here is the real, the jewel in the crown. This is what this whole thing evolves around, and everything else here I just added simply because it'll just make life easier. Because if I have a trend line here as well, if it breaks, I know where I'm going, and I want to know where I'm going. I want to have a target, and the break of this support is highly likely going to push us there. The break of that support is going to bring me there, highly likely into there. So I want to have a target. I want to see what I'm risking for my potential. And I think these are all important, and it's just a matter of your own personal style. But if you don't want to use them, that's also fine. The important thing here is to get updated prices according to your trading according to your trading setups. You can get any price you want. If you're trading, I don't know, whatever you're trading, it'll give you a price and you can get in there. So for example, if you want to buy, let's say it's a trading hour, let's see, for example, today is the 19th of July. Let's take a look. This is Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the 19th of July. Where are we? This is June. July. Let's go down a little bit more. Okay, so 19th of July. So what do I have here? I have a 23-way signal, possible swing trade day. Those were the hours. They're already gone. This window of opportunity is already gone. Breakout volatility, but let's see what happened from midnight to 2:55. Breakout volatility, midnight to 2:55. This is your midnight to 2:55 is there. That's your 3 o'clock pretty much there. Market is breaking out. Why? Because it's making a higher high than what it did on the Saturday. All right. Do I have any other thing here? I've got 2:55 to 6:45 flash breakout volatility. So 3 to 6:55. I've got, look, this is 3 o'clock. Whoops. 3:15 there. 6:55. Let's say 7 o'clock. You can see breakout volatility. Market just trapping everybody. All right. So trapping all the buyers, selling off, and that's it. So if I don't have any more alert window here, I do everything according to my technical analysis, the hours here, and obviously the hours, if it was Monday to Friday, you'd be looking here as well, because I don't do Monday and Friday, I don't do Saturday and Sunday, only Monday to Friday. You won't have the overall global hours, but you got at least Bitcoin hours here. So let's see what happened at what is that? Let's make this a little bigger. Can't see here. 340 to 420. So 340. This is your 340 here to 420. 340 to 420. Market chucking a UE going there. All right, so that's not bad. Intraday trade here, and let's put that down. Let's do this, and then what else do I have? I have a 520. So 520, market should be pushing up now. 520 here, and then I've got 905. This is your 905 right there. So the market went up where they sold off before. Obviously you'd be checking that out. So if you were day trading today, okay, this is where the market took off. This is a volume line, as you can see. The market gets there at trading hours, okay, point of control, date D2, going into week 2 and D1 line up here, and then selling off from there, and that's the previous day's high. Is it previous day high? Yeah, it is there. All right, so no, it's not the previous day high, it's something. Okay, so I can't quite read it though, okay, because there are a few things there. If I just refresh, boom, boom, here we are. Okay, and that's basically it. Today's opening, today's closing, and this is Sunday, and yeah, that is the previous day's high. Okay, there you go. It's because Sunday starts here, and that's basically it. So it gets there and gets sold off. As long as you're matching time and price, then you should be all honky-dory. Okay, then you got places where you want to go with it, and if you don't want to use it, don't use it. I'd like to use what I have here. Demand and supply zones, good to use because I draw these rectangles, so instead of drawing them manually I can just say, okay, this caused the breakout. So that is like, for me, a cause and consequence. So the market coming down here is logical. If I want to, push the market, first place to look out for is going to be here according to my time, space and motion, which is nice to see because it's pretty close to the previous day low, which the market likes to do. So these levels that I have for intraday trading are really helpful, because these prices get hit by the market. If they match your hours, then it's all honky-dory. As you can see here on the short-term time frame TSM, you already have a price here, 31. It's telling you 62, 64, 244, 64, 244. All right, is your support, which is pretty much here. Okay, and that's where the market is stalling, as you can see. Right, so if you want to sell, for example, you've got pricing, you can match it to a TSM on the intraday. If it matches the time, just nail it, or if it coincides to your alert windows, that's also fine. You can do that too. Watch my gold example from Friday. That was a pure window alert where Cycle Edge said, listen, there's volatility coming in, so it's going to push the market, and bingo. All right, so if you follow Cycle Edge, then you got your timing with it and your pricing with the timing, then you're going to be much better off because your risk is less, time and price going together. You don't have to wish for any trade to go in your direction. Also, the daily levels and the weekly levels, the bigger time frame levels, are very good. They're very accurate in that zone. It's the way to trade. And now the windows and the timing will also, if it coincides to that, it is like really a bingo trade. Okay, TSM isn't out yet. It will be soon though. Okay, I'm pretty much done with it. The licensing is done as well, and everything's all hunky-dory. So yeah, that's how it is if you want to use it later on. All right, I'll do more videos on how to use TSM and these as well. I've also done a comprehensive manual, so whoever has it, all you have to do is just say, oh, okay, this works like this works like that, match it to your trade hours, trade days, just trade it with your money management. Less time consuming, less screen time. You're psychologically more comfortable because you're prepared for what's highly likely going to happen in advance. If it doesn't happen, you don't trade anyway, so you're not in this struggle and constant bickering with the market. All right, 3 videos for today is enough. Have a good week, and we'll see you guys next time.